Good morning, students. Let us continue with the ninth chapter. Last video we discussed about household circuit. From powerhouse up to your house, how electricity reaches. Step by step, what is the procedure done? That is known as grid system of distribution of power. Then, from the nearby pole to your house, how the connection is taken to your house is taught in the last video. Now we will see how the distribution of a connection to different devices in a room are given. Are they in series or parallel? What is the advantage or disadvantage of connecting the devices in series and parallel? Just an example, we will take two bulbs in a house, in a room, two bulbs. How will you join them? In series or parallel? Let me make the diagram. Look at the diagram. Here, two bulbs are joined in series. Suppose the power of each bulb is 100 watt and the voltage rating is 220 volt. Meaning of power voltage rating we discussed in the previous videos. Voltage rating of this bulb is 220 volt means for its efficiency, maximum efficiency, it requires 220 volt. Otherwise, if 220 volt potential difference is available, then the bulb will have power of 100 watt. You know the electric supply which we get at home is at 220 volt. In this case, if you provide 220 volt, what will happen? Remember the characteristics of series circuit. In series circuit, the potential difference is getting divided among the individual resistors. Since both the bulbs are similar bulbs, equally it will be divided. So 220 is equally divided into two parts means each bulb will be getting 110 volt. V1 plus V2 is equal to V. So look at the case of this bulb. Is it getting the required voltage? No. That means this bulb can't have efficiency of 100 watt. If you increase the number of bulbs, the voltage is again getting reduced. So that is the case of series circuit. What about parallel circuit? Suppose the same bulbs you have connected in parallel way, the same similar bulb. According to the characteristic of parallel circuit, if you join resistors in parallel, each one will be getting the applied voltage. That means in this case, the bulb will get the required voltage. Since they are in parallel, this 220 volt will be available for both the resistors. If you increase the number of resistors or in parallel, all will be getting the same potential difference. Now you might have come to a conclusion. The different appliances at home must be joined always in parallel. And one reason is if they are joined in parallel, they will get the required voltage. Most of the appliances, the required voltage is 220. But in case of series, voltage is getting reduced or divided among the individual resistors. One more reason is there. In this case, suppose the filament of the first bulb is damaged. If it is getting broken, what about the other bulb? In case of series combination, if one bulb gets damaged, the other one can't function because the circuit becomes an open circuit or broken circuit, current cannot flow, so the other devices also stop functioning. What about this parallel combination? Suppose this bulb gets damaged. Will it affect the working of other bulb? Never. That means in parallel combination, the devices can function independently. They can have separate switches. Because of these reasons, the different appliances at home are always connected in parallel way. Now let us discuss about some components of house wiring. First one is electric fuse. A fuse is a safety device. It protects the device from overloading. Overloading means a current more than the safe current. If it enters into a device, we call it as overloaded condition. You know what is the meaning of safe current? For every device, from its power voltage rating, we can find out the safe current by using the formula P is equal to V into I. Let us consider an example. Suppose the electric iron of power 880 watt and having voltage rating 220 volt. What will be its safe current? Let us calculate. Look at the diagram. This is the electric iron having a resistance coil and its power is 880 watt. Voltage rating is 220 volt. So we can find out its safe current by using the formula V into I. I is equal to P by V 880 upon 220. That means 4 ampere. The safe current of this device is 4 ampere. That means the maximum current this coil can tolerate is 4 ampere current. If any current more than 4 ampere enter into the device, it will get damaged. That situation we call as overloading, or we can say the appliance got overloaded. So to protect this device, we should take care that never a current more than 4 ampere should enter into this device. For that we use electric fuse. And these electric fuses are always connected on the line wire. This is the line wire and here is the neutral wire. And this fuse always you have to connect on the line wire. And the fuse wire is made of an alloy of 50% lead. This fuse has a thin wire inside, which we call as fuse wire. Fuse wire is made of an alloy of 50% lead and 50% tin. In your textbook, that sentence is given wrong, you have to correct it. This is the correct answer. Material of fuse wire is an alloy of 50% lead and 50% tin. In your book, copper is written. Correct it. Then this fuse wire must have current rating of slightly more than 4 ampere, because the safe current for this device is 4 ampere. So this fuse wire must have rating slightly more than 4 ampere, like 4.5 or a maximum 5 ampere rating fuse are to connect here. What is the meaning of fuse rating? Fuse rating of 5 ampere, for example, the fuse we have connected here is of 5 ampere, means up to 5 ampere that fuse will allow the current to flow. If the current exceeds 5 ampere, all on a sudden this wire will melt, this fuse wire will melt. And fuse wire, which is made of alloy of 50% lead and 50% tin, it has some special characteristics. It has a high resistance and low melting point. This fuse wire has two important characteristics. It has high resistance. And what is the benefit of having high resistance is, whenever an overloaded current enters into the circuit, this wire gets heated faster due to high resistance. Again, due to low melting point, all on a sudden it gets melted. Thereby, overloaded current cannot enter into the circuit and the appliance will be safe. This is the working of fuse. So, it is important question, what are the characteristics of fuse wire and with which material it is made and on which wire you have to connect the fuse. Fuses and switches are there always on the live wire. Nowadays, instead of fuse, MCBs are used. It does the same work only. MCB, its full form is miniature circuit breaker, and the functioning is same only. Whenever any overloading happens in any circuit, this MCB automatically cuts off the circuit. And the difference is, in case of fuse, heating effect of electricity is the working principle. This wire should get heated and thereby it breaks whenever overloading happens. So, heating effect of electricity, that is the working principle of this type of fuses. But in MCB, its working principle is magnetic effect of electricity. It is very important point. Due to magnetism, that circuit controlling is done, and the working speed is different. In this case, this fuse will take some seconds time to get melted, but in case of MCB, within micro or within 0.25 millisecond, the circuit gets off or circuit breaks. These are the differences. So, this is what you have to learn about electric fuse. Then this fuse wire will be fixed on a porcelain casing. This casing is made of an insulator called porcelain, just like China clay it looks like, because that fuse we have to operate. So, its outer casing is made of an insulator called porcelain. And one more point, in costly devices, it is necessary that you must have a fuse. Together with that fuse, the company keeps an inbuilt fuse inside. For example, here inside the device, the company keeps a fuse that is for the double protection, and that fuse we call as cartridge fuse. So, even though the user does not provide a fuse, this cartridge fuse will do the function. So, it guarantees the safety. So, this is what you have to learn about fuse. The characteristic of the fuse wire I told already, it must have high resistance and low melting point. Same time, just remember what must be the characteristic of this heating element of a device. Any heating device, electric iron, electric heater, room heater, all these are heating devices. What must be the characteristic of this heating element is, that question is there in your exercise. It must have high resistance and melting point should be high. Just to see have a comparison, for heating element, resistance must be high, then only more heat will be produced. The formula for heat is I squared RT. So, more the resistance, more heat will be produced, and melting point should be high for heating coil. Otherwise, what will happen? If melting point is low, it will melt as it gets heated up. So, remember the difference here, the characteristics of heating coil, characteristics of fuse wire. Next point, for a electric circuit, in an electric circuit, the switches are there always on the live wire, and fuses also, it is always there on the live wire. Let us see what is the reason, what is the problem if you keep a switch on the neutral wire. Switches must be always there on the live wire. Here we are going to see what is the problem if the switches are there on the neutral wire. Look at the diagram. I have shown a switch in off position connected on the neutral wire, and here this is the heater which is commonly used in the kitchen. In this heater, the coil is visible outside, and there is chance for the user to come in touch with this heater coil, because it is visible outside, it is not packed somewhere. So the user may get a chance by mistake, he or she may get touch with this coil. You know the live wire is a 220 volt and neutral wire at 0 volt. According to this diagram, the switch is in off position, so current will not flow in the circuit and the device will not function. In this situation, if someone touches this coil, what will happen? A person touches this coil. He is standing on the ground. Earth is at 0 volt potential. Potential of earth is 0 volt. This man, human body is a conductor of electricity. Electricity can flow through human body. Even though there is resistance, it can flow. So this man touches the coil. Will he get a shock or not? Remember, device is not functioning since switch is off. Current flow is incomplete. Circuit is a broken circuit and the device will not function. Still, if he touches, he will get a shock. What is the reason? See, this heating coil is disconnected from the neutral wire, but it is still in touch with the live wire. Look at the diagram. This heating coil is disconnected from the neutral, but it is still in touch with the live. And live wire is a 220 volt. That means this element, heating element, is a 220 volt. So this man touches a body at 220 volt and his legs are touched with earth which is at 0 volt. Due to the difference in potential, current will flow through his body and he will get a fatal shock. Okay, because our hand is touching 220 volt, legs are in touch with 0 volt. So due to difference in potential, current flow will happen through your body and you will get a shock. Even though device is not working, device is switched off, you may get a shock if you touch on this heating element. Now let us see, if the switch was on live wire, will this problem arise or not? Look at the diagram. The switch is in off position. Now what is the potential of the coil? The coil is disconnected from live wire, but it is in touch with the neutral wire, but neutral wire is at 0 volt. Now what is the potential of this coil? Since the coil is only in touch with the neutral wire, is disconnected from live wire, potential of the coil is 0 volt. So the man is touching a body of 0 volt, his legs are 0 volt, there is no difference in the potential, no current will flow through his body, he will not get a shock. Due to this reason, switches are always there on the live wire. Same way fuse also. If fuses are there on the neutral wire, the same problem will arise as I explained in the case of switch. So remember, fuses and switches are always connected on live wire. And you know, switch is an on-off device. It make and break the current flow in a circuit. And while handling the switches, the precaution you have to take is never touch the switches with the wet hands. If you touch a switch with the wet hand, what will happen? To see. Look at this diagram. The switch is in off position. This is the live wire which is at 220 volt potential. You are touching this switch with the wet hand. Suppose this is your finger. Okay. The water from your finger may enter into the switch to the sides, and if that water comes in touch with this live wire, you know water is a conductor of electricity. So your finger gets connected to the live wire through water, or with the help of water, your finger gets connected to the live wire. So what will happen? You will get a potential, or you will come in touch with the live wire, means your body gets in contact with the 220 volt potential and you can get a shock. So never touch the switches with the wet hands. And there are two types of switches, single pole switches and double pole switches, which I explained already in the previous videos. Next electrical component of the house wiring is earthing. It is also called grounding. Let us see the meaning of earthing. Earthing means connecting the metallic body of an appliance to earth. It is for the safety of the user. And this earthing is given for such appliances where the user has to come in contact with the body of the appliance while it is in use, or frequently you have to touch the device. The best example is electric iron. Throughout the working, or how long we have to press the cloth, till then we have to be in touch with the machine. We have to hold it. So in such cases, there is chance for getting a shock. To avoid it, earthing is done. While discussing the topic 3-pin plug, I told what is the purpose of 3 pins. Usually, earthing, the devices which requires earthing must have 3-pin plugs. Out of 3 pins, 2 small pins are for live and neutral respectively, and the third pin is for earthing connection. The third pin is connecting to the body of the appliance. This is the earth pin. These 3 wires, live, neutral, earth wires, will be connected to 3 pins of the 3-pin plug. And this plug, when we insert into the socket, actually metallic body of the appliance is getting connected to the earth. Of course, neutral live wires are getting connected. Together with that, metallic body of the appliance gets connected to earth. And this earthing is done, finally the earthing connection is done near the meter, near the kilowatt hour meter, means at the right entry of the current, earthing will be done. On the body of the meter, earthing will be done, and that earthing wire, wherever it reaches in different places in different rooms, all that devices body is getting connected to earth. That is the purpose of earth wire. How earthing is done is, near the meter, body of the meter will be connected to a long copper wire, thick long copper wire, and that copper wire you have to bury in a pit which is 2 to 3 kilometers deep. Near the meter on the ground, you have to make a pit of almost 2 to 3 meter deep, and it will be, that copper wire will be buried deep under, and at the end of the wire a copper plate will be there. I will make the figure of it. Look at the diagram. This is the meter. One thick wire will be connected to the body of the meter, and from there it is buried deep under the ground. It passes through a pipe, PVC pipe, and the depth must be 2 to 3 kilometers. At the end of this copper wire, a copper plate will be attached, and this plate will be surrounded by charcoal and salt mixture. Salt, charcoal mixture will be there around this copper plate, and once in a while you must pour water through the pipe so that this region remains wet. The area near the plate is having already salt and charcoal to make it wet in order to increase the conductivity. Once in a while you have to pour water through this pipe. And this is the process of doing earthing. And this earth wire, since it passes throughout the household circuit, this earth wire is finally getting connected here. So if means this is the way of doing earthing. And let us see how it gives protection to the user. Due to any reason, if this live wire, which is a 220 volt potential, comes in touch with the body of the appliance, body of the appliance will get 220 volt potential. Just before this we have seen, if the live wire comes in touch with, due to some fault it can happen, in a faulty machine it happens, this live wire, suppose it comes in touch with the body of the appliance, and by mistake a user touches it or comes in touch with the body of the appliance, surely he will get a shock because of the difference in potential. We have discussed this now about it. So there is chance for getting a shock if any fault happens in this machine. But if earthing is done, what will happen is, whenever current enters into the body of the appliance, that current will flow to earth. In this earthing connection, through that earthing connection, current will go to earth. Okay, so this part, so two options are there. Current can, by chance if the user touches the body of the appliance, current can flow through his body to the earth. Another option is current can flow through this earthing connection to earth. You know which path current will prefer. Current always prefers a path of low resistance. Here human body resistance and this earth wire resistance, if you compare, resistance of this path is very low. So current will flow through this wire to earth. Instead of going to the body of the person or user, current will flow through earth. That means if the live wire comes in touch with the body of the appliance, it gets high potential and earth resets low potential. So this wire, look at this earth wire, one end is at 0 volt, other end is at 220 volt. So current will flow through this circuit. Because of the low resistance, the current in the circuit will rise all on a sudden. Whenever current flow happens in the earthing wire, it happens only when a faulty device works. Otherwise, there won't be any current flow happening in the earth connection. So, due to low resistance of this part, current in the circuit will rise all on a sudden. It will go beyond safe current and all on a sudden. Okay, consider the switch in on position. All on a sudden, this fuse wire will melt and the current supply will cut off. The user will be safe. If earthing connection is not there, this person can get a shock. And together with earthing connection, fuse is also required. Their working is related. Fuse and earthing works together. So remember, this is the way of giving earthing. It gives protection to the user. Remember, this earthing is to be given for such devices, already I told, for such devices where the user has to touch the device frequently, refrigerator, mixer, grinder, these things, electric, iron, etc. Then for lighting circuits, bulb and fan, for such devices earthing is not required, because we need not touch the bulb frequently or we need not touch the fan frequently while it is working. There is no need of it. So you need not. Another point in MCQ on page number 199, fourth question, earth wire is connected to the dash. 4 options are given and the answer they have written, correct answer they have written body of the appliance. You will not get the mark for that answer, metallic body of the appliance. Earthing connection should be given on the metallic body of the appliance. If the appliance is having some polish or varnish, from a small area you have to remove the polish or paint. Then on that metal part, after removing the paint, on the metal body you have to give the earthing connection. Okay, that's all about electrical components. Thank you.